The 2027 Jeep Gladiator is arriving with a 470 horsepower V8, the first of its kind in any midsize truck, and it is about to redefine what buyers in this segment can expect from a pickup. If you are currently looking at a 2026 Gladiator and wondering whether to pull the trigger now, that decision is worth putting on hold, because what's coming next makes the current model look unfinished. The 2027 version is raising that bar so far that nothing in the segment will be able to follow. Number 8. Styling updates. The Gladiator has always been one of the most recognizable mid-sized trucks on the road. That iconic silhouette isn't changing for 2027, but what is getting attention is the finer detail work, and those details matter more than buyers often expect. Jeep is working on a fresh wave of special edition variants and appearance packages that give buyers more ways to personalize the truck. The 2026 model already demonstrated how effective this approach can be. The Willys 41 Buzz Edition drew directly from military-era Jeep history, bringing olive drab wheels, a hood scoop, mud terrain tires, and steel bumpers into a package that's immediately recognizable. The 2027 lineup is expected to take that concept further with additional special runs and new configurations. None of this alters the Gladiator's fundamental DNA, but visually, it's going to feel like a more refined and more personalized truck. The styling updates make a real difference at the curb, but none of it would matter nearly as much without the engine news that's been driving this truck's conversation for years. Number 7. V8 finally coming. Few developments in the midsize truck world have generated more anticipation than a V8 arriving in the Jeep Gladiator. Enthusiasts have been making the case for it for years, and for years Jeep held off. The 2027 model year is where that changes. The engine in question is the 6.4-liter Hemi V8, the 392. It puts out 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, figures that don't just lead the midsize segment, they aren't close to being matched. The Toyota Tacoma runs a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. The Chevrolet Colorado tops out with a similar setup. No other midsize truck offers anything resembling a V8 of this displacement, let alone one producing output at this level. The 392 has already been deployed in the Wrangler lineup, building a strong reputation for performance and durability on a nearly identical platform. Gladiator buyers are getting a proven unit, not an experiment, and a 470 horsepower engine means nothing until you see what it actually does in the real world, which is where this gets truly hard to ignore. Number 6. Unbeatable performance. The Wrangler 392 established a new benchmark the moment it launched, 0 to 60 in approximately 4.5 seconds, quarter-mile times in the low 13-second range. For a body-on-frame truck built around trail capability, those figures land with serious force. Think about what that means behind the wheel. Merging onto a busy highway with a loaded bed is exactly the moment where underpowered mid-sized trucks expose themselves, slow to respond, straining under load. With 470 pound-feet of torque on tap, the 2027 Gladiator 392 eliminates that hesitation entirely. Power arrives immediately, and the merge happens on your terms, not the engine's. The current V6 Gladiator hits 60 in 7.2 seconds. That gap from 7.2 to 4.5 is not a refinement. It's a different class of vehicle in the same body. No competitor in the segment is going to match it. But the performance story only matters fully if buyers can access the engine without spending at the very top of the lineup, which brings us to one of the more welcome surprises about how Jeep is rolling this out. Number 5. Availability across trim levels. In the current Wrangler lineup, the 392 is Rubicon only. Buyers who want it have one path: commit to the most equipped and most expensive configuration available. That keeps a significant portion of interested buyers on the sidelines. The 2027 Gladiator is reportedly going a different direction. Latest reports suggest the 392 V8 will be offered across more than just the Rubicon, opening it up to buyers who want the performance without needing every feature the Rubicon brings. A buyer who wants the V8 at a different price point will have options that simply don't exist in the Wrangler, a meaningful distinction that broadens the engine's appeal across the lineup rather than locking it behind a single gate. Broader availability makes a strong truck even more compelling, but the performance story doesn't stop on the highway, because the 2027 Gladiator's off-road credentials are about to reach a level the segment has never seen before. Number 4. Unbeatable off-road performance. Off-road capability is the first thing that comes to mind when the Gladiator enters any conversation, and no other midsize truck has built a stronger case in that category. Base models arrive with solid axles, four-wheel drive, and a water-fording depth of 31.5 inches as standard, a figure that dismisses most of the competition before a single spec sheet is opened. Here's where the engineering matters in a practical way. Picture a steep, loose incline where one wheel is spinning freely and the truck isn't moving. That's the moment most midsize trucks give up. The Mojave and Rubicon variants and balancer with locking differentials on both axles, a disconnecting front sway bar, and purpose-built suspension tuning that redistributes torque to where grip exists and keeps the truck climbing when everything else would need a winch. Now add 470 pound-feet of torque to that foundation. Low-end torque from a large displacement V8 does things off-road that a turbocharged 4-cylinder can't replicate. More control at crawl speeds, better composure on sustained climbs, less heat stress under load. The top trims are setting a new ceiling, but base models are carrying forward an engine that makes a strong case of its own. Number 3. Proven base engine. Not every buyer is coming for the V8. For those wanting something straightforward, the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 is continuing into 2027, and that's genuinely good news. Rated at 285 horsepower and paired with an 8-speed automatic, it handles daily driving, moderate towing, and regular trail use without drama. No turbos to maintain, no intercoolers to worry about, no added complexity. Simplicity is an underrated quality in a truck, and the V6 delivers it reliably, returning around 17 miles per gallon city and 22 highway. In a segment where turbocharged 4-cylinders have become the default, a naturally aspirated V6 with a proven long-term record is something many buyers will actively choose. The base V6 is a solid foundation, but the Gladiator has another side that often gets buried under the performance conversation, and for buyers with real work to do, it matters just as much. Number 2. Work competence. There's a tendency to think of the Gladiator purely as an adventure vehicle. That reading sells it short. Most people shopping mid-sized trucks have a number in their head. The weight of a boat, a trailer, a load of equipment. When that number pushes past 6,000 pounds, a lot of options quietly step aside. The Gladiator doesn't. Maximum towing reaches 7,700 pounds with the right configuration, outpacing the Tacoma's 6,500-pound ceiling and matching the most capable Colorado setup. The optional max tow package adds a 4.10 axle ratio, all-terrain tires, and heavy-duty cooling for buyers who need sustained, regular pulling capability. Maximum payload reaches 1,725 pounds, and the 31.5-inch water-fording depth means this truck gets the job done in conditions where others park and wait. The work credentials are genuine, but if you think the Gladiator's strengths stop at the tailgate, the interior is about to change that assumption. Number 1. Well-built and spacious interior. The Gladiator's cabin gets underestimated. The interior is one of the more practical and well-considered setups in the mid-size segment, and the 2027 model is carrying it forward without compromise. The dashboard centers on a 12.3-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Consider what that system means after a trail run. Hands that aren't clean, gloves still on, needing to adjust something fast. Physical controls for climate and audio handle that without menus or touchscreen fights. It's a layout built for how this truck actually gets used. Front seats are supportive and available with heating and power adjustment. Rear space comfortably fits adults, and the removable roof and doors, a feature no other mid-size truck offers, change the experience entirely. An optional 9-speaker Alpine system with a removable Bluetooth speaker rounds out a cabin that holds up under real working conditions. The 2027 Jeep Gladiator is arriving with a case that's difficult to argue against, a segment-exclusive V8 producing 470 horsepower, broader engine availability across trim levels, class-leading off-road hardware that is only getting stronger, a proven V6 holding down the base lineup, towing capacity that reaches 7,700 pounds, and an interior that is more practical and better equipped than most buyers give it credit for. The 2026 model is a solid truck, but the 2027 is a better one in nearly every measurable way, and with pricing expected to stay close to where it is today. The gap between what you'd be giving up and what you'd be gaining by waiting is not a close call. But don't think that competition is doing nothing about this. The 2027 Nissan Frontier, which you can check out in our next video, is coming with an ultimate off-road version equipped with a turbocharger which directly aims at the Gladiator 392. Besides that, it also gets a revolutionary plug-in hybrid version which will create a substantial advantage over the competition.